from Yadan Mall is Spoken SPKN, and today we're gonna be doing another book review. I read the book, so you didn't have to. I don't have the physical copy of the book, but I did make notes. I think I left it back in Anguilla. The name of the book is called Manifest Your Destiny by Wayne W. Dyer. This was a really good book. At the time I read it, it was really good. I was having an ego death. And I think people misconstrued, I hope I'm using that word correctly, misconstrued ego deaths happening one time, and ego death can happen numerous times. And there's been many times throughout my life that I've had ego deaths and I was aware and not aware of it. Manifest Your Destiny is a self-development book about the 9 spiritual principles to elevate and shift your life into getting what you want. It is essential to learn and understand that you are both a physical body in a material world and a non-physical being, spiritual, who can gain access to a higher level of consciousness. That higher level is within you, within I, and it is a representation of God and reach throughout adult development. In quotations, depending on what you believe in, whatever higher power, universe, God within you. If you are divinely created, then you are connected to the divine in some shape, way, or form. So why would the divine not be within you? So chapter 1 is basically about becoming aware of your higher self. The first chapter categorizes your peak stages in adult life in 4 categories. As an adult, your spirit goes through a series of ascending limitations if acknowledged. So, as an adult, we go through different stages of ascension when it comes to ego. The 4 adult stages are the athlete, the warrior, the statesperson, and the spirit. The athlete. When an individual primary identification is with their physical body and how it functions in the everyday world, measuring worth and happiness based upon physicality. So essentially, you only value or take pride or value or gratification in your physical body, of the physical bodies of the world. You have to have the nicest body. If you don't have the nicest body, your value is this, you don't feel worthy. Everything has to do with physical beauty on the outer spectrum. That is the first layer. The warrior. So this is when an individual is ego dominated with the mindset to conquer the world to demonstrate superiority. Superiority, superiority. During this stage, we are busy with goals and achievements in competition of others. So essentially, the warrior ego is fed and valued only throughout comparison. Because when you're in a constant state of competition and receiving gratitude through winning and competing with others, essentially you are going to be in a constant cycle of comparing. And the only way to satisfy your ego is to win against another person. 3, the statesperson. So during this stage of life, the adult, the individual, their ego is tamed and their awareness is shifted. And they are focused more on what is important to the other person rather than themselves. And they are fixated, their ego is fixating on serving others. Their ego is now outside of themselves. It's not completely wrapped within themselves, but it's to the extent where they overlook themselves. So their value is only attached to what they can do to help other people. And the last ascendant stage is the spirit. This is the stage where an individual detaches from the physicality of the world. Non ego driven, materialistic, appearance prioritized, nor people pleasing oriented, while they still serve others but have an inner flow of service within themselves. So, the reason why this is the last ascendant stage is prior from the first stage till now, not only do they have a control, it's almost as if they have a control or an inner standing with their ego, that there has to be some sort of balance. So it's not fixated on one thing, it's as a collective. So they're still serving others, they're still serving others, but they're also serving themselves, and everything is balanced. So it's not too much fixation on their physicality, it's not too much fixation on the achievements that they have in their life, and they are able to be more grounded and in a state of mind where they are able to kind of lift their ego in such a sense. Because if it's one thing that I do agree with, is that ego is not meant to be killed, but ego is meant to be acknowledged and observed. And therefore, when it's acknowledged and observed, you can control what type of energy you put back out into the world and those around you when you are operating in ego. Because essentially, as human beings, you cannot not have an ego. It's kind of like you need, or I don't want to use the word need, but it's imperative for you to have an ego or to use your ego in order to get what you want. Literally, it is important. Ego is important, is essential, it's part of your being, it's part of oneself, but it's having that balance. And this is why the spirit is the last stage. Chapter 2. Trusting yourself is to trust yourself with the wisdom or the divinity invested in you, which is God. Some Bible verses that I quoted was Romans 8 to 10, 2 Corinthians 4 to 6, 4, 6 to 7, and Luke 17 to 21. Chapter 3, you are not an organism in the environment. You are an environed organism. So this basically means through the disconnect with oneself, you'll find that you believe you are separate from your environment. But that is not true. As your environment is a reflection of you, you have the power to create in your environment. I believe that we are taught to believe that everything is outside of us, to seek things that are outside of us. But when we do review divinity, when we do take the time out to receive, we understand that all those things are already within us. The things that you seek are within. So when we say that we are environed organism, we are essentially saying we are all one. We are I. Chapter 4. You can attract to yourself what you desire. You have the power to attract what it is that you want. This chapter provides knowledge on energy and how we are energetic beings. Energy is the creative life force that allows us to do things that we observe with our senses. Recognizing that the power to even have a thought is a divine power. Once again, if we are created by the divine, why is it that we do not believe that we are also divinely made and divine ourselves? We are created by the Creator and we are here to create. So it does not mean that you are divine. Chapter 5. Honoring your worthiness to receive. To acknowledge that you do withhold power, you must acknowledge that since you do withhold power, you are worthy of that power. We are worthy. As a man thinks, so is he. Whatever you think about yourself, that is what you are. If you think low about yourself, that is what you are. If you think highly of yourself, that is what you are. It does not matter if another person tell you, oh, you're so this and so that. And at the end of the day, it's what you believe. You can lead a horse to drink water, but the horse is going to drink water if it wants to drink water. Your self esteem is a division of your perspective of yourself. How you think about yourself is very important. If you don't think you are worthy to receive your desires, then you are using your powers to do just so. Repel against them. Chapter 6. Connecting to the divine source with unconditional love. Love is the most powerful energy there is. The ultimate source of love is in fact God. God is love. When people are loving, doing things out of unconditional love, the energy is always brighter and better. A feeling of joy, peace, and prosperity. Good things, high vibrational things. To be godly is to express the love that is within you. By declaring yourself as a person who keeps his word, you align yourself with the loving and essence of the world. Chapter 7. Meditating to the sound of creation. This chapter highlights the importance of meditation. I can't stress this enough. Meditation. I think it's probably one of the greatest high vibrational gifts that I received ever in my life. Sounds are powerful energy and is a spiritual vibrational frequency. Sounds intricately make life. Manifesting is knowing how to make contact with that spiritual vibrational frequency while we are living inside our body in a materialized world. The act of creation itself is sound. The ah is the highest sound of creation and joy. Ah expresses a feeling of bliss and joy and high frequency. God, for example. When you say the word God, it is very powerful. And the word was God in the beginning. The most common sound during sex is ah. Oh my God. I thought it was very interesting because sex is the intention to procreate. Chapter 8. Patiently detach from the outcome. Last but not least, do not be fixated on the outcome, but enjoy the process for what it is. When you give God demands about your desires according to your timetable or whatever schedule that you have in your brain, it gives you the wrong idea that God is separate from you. And this also results once again in you repelling against your power. If you truly do have trust in God, you have trust in yourself, and therefore you trust that the outcome will arrive just as it is meant to. You accept outcome as it is. Being impatient devalues your connection with yourself and the divine Holy Spirit, the Creator. Chapter 9. Reacting to your manifestations with gratitude and generosity. Lastly, when you receive your desires or blessings, it is imperative that you give thanks. Always give thanks. Be grateful as you are. No. Having a conscious expression of gratitude reinforces your good karma. It re-enlightens your energy in good spirit. And in turn, it shifts your perspective and brighter your consciousness, elevating your consciousness, evolving your consciousness. This final chapter teaches you how to be more grateful and what hinders gratuity in your life. Complaining, like just think about how much times you complain a day. And ask yourself, can you replace the complaining with more gratitude and more grace? In conclusion, good acts and expression of love will be returned to you as is. As above, so below. This was a really good book. I gave this book a 10 out of 10. This was a good read. It was a great read. I remember reading this book while I was getting my laundry done in the hot sun, waiting in my car. I had great memories with this book. This was a good book. And it was divinely given to me during a time that I didn't even know that I needed it. And it definitely did keep me grounded. So I'm very grateful for that. Thanks. Bye.